Boys, IUPAC nomenclature. That is nothing but naming of organic compounds. Naming of organic compounds. So before entering into the name of these organic compounds, we must learn about the types of carbons which are involved in this organic chemistry and types of different hydrogens, types of nitrogens. Let us discuss about types of carbons. So those are very, very important for further studies. So that's why I'm starting here with types of carbon. So try to note down each and every point along with me, boys. So see here. First subheading, types of carbon and hydrogen atoms. Types of carbon and hydrogen atoms. What are these types for? See, boys, in our organic chemistry, carbon has 4 valency. See here, that is carbon. It has 4 valency. All these 4 valency may satisfied with either with hydrogens. All these 4 valency are satisfied with hydrogen or other elements. So those, no doubt, in many cases that should be the carbon and other elements may be carbon. Most of the cases, because it is in our organic chemistry, continuation chains are available. So see here, it is the carbon what we are going to be explained. If this carbon has 4 valency, no doubt this carbon has 4 valency. If one of the valency of this carbon is satisfied with directly another carbon, see here, this is the carbon which is under study. This carbon directly connected with other, only one carbon. I am explaining only about this carbon. So this may be connected with so many carbons, no doubt. But this carbon directly connected with one carbon and remaining 3 valency are satisfied with hydrogen. Now what about this carbon? This is the carbon directly connected with one carbon. This carbon is called as a primary carbon. This carbon is called as a primary carbon. In short, it is 1 degree C. 1 degree C means that is a primary carbon. What is primary carbon? That is the carbon connected with only one carbon directly. Remaining 3 are hydrogen. Or the carbon which is not connected with any other carbon. The carbon which is not connected with any other carbon is also primary carbon. Here carbon not connected with any other carbon. No carbon is connected to that carbon. So here, so primary carbon, right? Here carbon attached to one carbon. Here carbon attached to no carbon atom. Here carbon attached to no carbon atom or attached to one carbon atom is called as a primary carbon. This carbon also we call as a primary carbon. So what is primary carbon? That is the carbon which is attached to no other carbon atoms or a single carbon atom. See here, what about this? So CH3O. What is the nature of carbon? Is this primary carbon or anything else? See, boys, this is the carbon connected with 3 hydrogens. This is the carbon connected with 3 hydrogens. But it is oxygen, not carbon, boys. So that means this carbon connected with no other carbon atom. No doubt it should be primary carbon. Even though it is oxygen. Even though it is oxygen. So we should consider only how many carbons connected to that carbon. No other elements are considered here. Okay. So now this is about primary carbon. Next, those hydrogens which are connected to primary carbon are called as primary hydrogens. The hydrogen which is connected to primary carbon are called as primary hydrogens. Here 3 primary hydrogens are there. Here 4 primary hydrogens are there. All these hydrogens are primary hydrogens, boys. What is primary hydrogen? That is the hydrogen bonded with primary carbon. What is primary carbon? That is the carbon connected with no other carbon atom or a single carbon atom, which is called as primary carbon. Hydrogens connected to that primary carbon is called as primary hydrogens. Primary hydrogen. It is first point. Next, second one. If carbon out of 4 valency satisfied with 2 other carbon atoms and remaining 2 are hydrogens. Okay, so this is considered as a secondary carbon. Secondary carbon. Those hydrogens which are connected to secondary carbon are called as secondary hydrogens. Those hydrogens connected with the secondary carbon are called as secondary hydrogens, which is connected with the secondary carbon. First of all, observe what we want to find out. So this is the carbon I want to find out, is this primary, secondary or tertiary? It is the carbon directly connected with the 2 other carbon atoms. That's why it is secondary carbon. Next, it is a secondary hydrogen because that is the secondary carbon. Next, third point. So third point, that is a carbon out of 4 valency, 3 valency satisfied with other carbon atoms and only 1 is satisfied with hydrogen. So this carbon is called as a tertiary carbon. This carbon is called as a tertiary carbon. This hydrogen which is attached to a tertiary carbon is called as a tertiary hydrogen. It's called as a tertiary hydrogen. So what is tertiary carbon? Carbon bonded with 3 other carbon atoms. It's called as a tertiary carbon. The hydrogen bonded to that tertiary carbon is called as a tertiary hydrogen. Tertiary hydrogen. Next, fourth one. Out of 4 valency of carbon, all those 4 valency are satisfied with 4 other carbon atoms. Out of 4 valency of carbon, all those 4 valency are satisfied with 4 other carbon atoms. That carbon is called as a quaternary carbon. That is a 4-degree carbon, boys. So what is quaternary carbon? Quaternary carbon. So quat means 4. So carbon bonded with 4 other carbon atoms. Carbon bonded with 4 other carbon atoms is called as quaternary carbon. Quaternary carbon. So here, how many quaternary hydrogens are there? So that means the hydrogen bonded to quaternary carbon. So boys, all those 4 bonds are satisfied. No bond is free. That is why. So quaternary hydrogens not possible. Quaternary hydrogens are not possible, boys. So this is about different types of hydrogens in our organic chemistry. Primary carbon, secondary carbon, tertiary carbon, quaternary carbon. Hydrogen side, primary hydrogen, secondary hydrogen, tertiary hydrogen. No quaternary hydrogens are available. So this is about the types of hydrogen bonds. So let us identify which is which in our particular example. So see here. See boys, let us observe the compound CH3, CH3, CH, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, C, CH3, CH3, CH3. This is one of the examples, boys. Let us identify. Let us identify. So how many, what are the, so find out, first of all, number of primary carbons and primary hydrogens. It is first one. Second one, number of secondary carbons and secondary hydrogens. Count the number. Third one, number of tertiary carbons and tertiary hydrogens. Next, fourth one, number of quaternary carbons and quaternary hydrogens. Tell me. See boys, how many primary, secondary, tertiary carbon atoms are here available? How many primary, secondary, tertiary hydrogens are available here? So try to explain the concepts. So based on just we completed the target from unprepared. See boys. So this is carbon. It is directly attached with only one carbon. Therefore, it is a primary end. It is a primary end. This is the carbon which is directly attached with three other carbon atoms. Therefore, it is a tertiary carbon. It is a tertiary carbon. So it is directly attached with only one carbon. It is a primary carbon. This carbon attached with two other carbon atoms. Therefore, it is a secondary carbon. This is attached with three other carbon atoms. Tertiary. It is a primary. It is a secondary. It is a quaternary. It is a primary. 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 Okay. So this is the conditions, boys. Now find out how many primary carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 primary carbons. Each primary carbon has 3 hydrogens. 6 3s, 18 primary hydrogens. 18 primary hydrogens. Okay. Next, secondary carbons. This one and this one. These two are secondary carbons. So number of secondary carbons 2 are. Now secondary hydrogens. This one has 2 hydrogens. This one has 2 hydrogens. Therefore 4 secondary hydrogens. Next, tertiary carbons. So this is tertiary. This is tertiary. 2 tertiary carbons. So 2 hydrogens. Only 1 plus 1, 2 are. 2 tertiary carbons, 2 tertiary hydrogens. Next, quaternary carbon. This is the only one, boys. Therefore 1 quaternary. So therefore it is a 0. No hydrogen is attached to that one. That's why. So this is about types of hydrogens. So is the concept clear, boys? Is the concept clear? Tell me. Okay. So it is very, very important. So let us find out primary carbon, secondary carbon. What is the nature of that carbon? So this is about types of carbons and types of hydrogens. Now, types of alcohols. How to find out alcohols and halogen compounds? So many different types of compounds. Boys. See here. Let us take another concept. That is. See boys. So if halogen atom attached to a primary carbon is called as primary halides. A halogen atom attached to a primary carbon is called as a primary halides. So those are generally called as primary alkyl halides, boys. Primary halogen. That is, halogen atom is attached to primary carbon. If it is attached to a secondary carbon, that is called as secondary halides. If it is attached to a tertiary carbon, which is called as a tertiary halides. So, see boys, if carbons connected with 4 other carbon atoms, not possible to connect halogen atom, boys. That is why quaternary halogen compound is not possible. Quaternary halogen compound is not possible. Like this, alcohols also. Like this, alcohols also. For example, if alcohol means OH. So OH containing compounds in our organic chemistry are called as alcohol. If it is attached to a primary carbon, that is called as a primary alcohol. Like this, many compounds. So if it is attached to a secondary carbon, is called as a secondary alcohol. Similarly, it is attached to a tertiary carbon, which is called as a tertiary alcohol. Like this, many of the compounds are possible, guys. Okay, so primary alkyl halides, secondary alkyl halides, tertiary alkyl halides. Primary alcohols, secondary alcohols, tertiary alcohols. All these are different variety of alcohols or halogen compounds based on primary, secondary, tertiary carbon atoms. So if you know primary carbon, it is easy to find out. Yes, functional group, boys. Please wait, Chandra. It is easy to find out what type of alcohol is there, what type of halogen compound is there. So it is the way to identify the nature of types of halogens or types of alcohol. Okay. So many of the functional groups follows these rules. Many of the functional groups. Now, what about the nitrogens? Types of nitrogen, boys. That is very, very important. In our organic chemistry, nitrogen containing compounds are called as amines. See here, types of nitrogen atoms. See boys, here nitrogen, types of nitrogen is decided with respect to nitrogen, not with respect to carbon. It is the exceptional case, boys. In remaining all cases, halogens with respect to carbon, alcohols with respect to carbon. So anything else except this nitrogen. Remaining all explained with respect to carbon, boys. But so nitrogenous compounds, nitrogen types, here all these are so nitrogen compounds, types of nitrogen, that is in amines. In amines, types of nitrogen, boys. So here it is explained with respect to nitrogen, not with respect to carbon. Not with respect to carbon, it is with respect to nitrogen, boys. See boys, amines. What are these amines? Amines are nothing but very, very important class of compounds, boys. Please keep in mind. Amines are nothing but these are the derivatives of ammonia. Amines are nothing but derivatives of ammonia. What is ammonia? What is its formula? Ammonia formula is NH3 and its structure is nitrogen bonded with 3 hydrogens pyramidally and having a lone pair on nitrogen. This is, we know, ammonia, boys. If hydrogens attached to this nitrogen are replaced with carbon. See here. So in ammonia, one hydrogen replaced with carbon, one hydrogen replaced with carbon, that is like this. So NH3, one hydrogen replaced with carbon, boys, nitrogen has lone pair. So that means it contains NH2 on functional group end. Replaced with carbon gives NH2 group end, which is called as a primary amine. Which is called as a primary amine. So this, see boys, what is primary amine? That is the nitrogen connected with one carbon. It is a primary amine. It is a primary nitrogen. It is a primary nitrogen, which is called as a primary amine. Primary amine. So nitrogen connected with one carbon, not carbon connected with it. It is nitrogen connected with it. It is called as primary amine. So see here, if two hydrogens of NH3 replaced with carbon atoms, we will get secondary amine. So that means the functional group is, see boys, so this is ammonia. So 3 hydrogens, 2 valences satisfied with carbon with lone pair. This is the functional group finally remaining. So that means NH as the functional group with nitrogen lone pair. So this is the secondary amine functional group, boys. So this is our primary amine functional group. Primary amine, it is a secondary amine. If 3 hydrogens are replaced, if 3 hydrogens are replaced, nothing but nitrogen C, C, C and with lone pair. Nitrogen with lone pair only exists. Nitrogen with only lone pair exists. So that gives, that is nitrogen with a lone pair. This is a tertiary amine. This is a tertiary amine. So okay, so amines, primary amine, one of the hydrogens is replaced with carbon, that gives NH2 functional group. Next, if 2 hydrogens are replaced with carbon, that is the secondary amine, there is NH as functional group. If 3 hydrogens are replaced with carbon, there is only N with lone pair, that is a tertiary amine, boys. Next, if this lone pair is donated to any of the others, that means a 4th bond is possible. That is called as quaternary amine. So that means, see here, Here, nitrogen bonded with 3 carbons, it is a tertiary. This lone pair is donated to others, that gives a carbon. So to another carbon, a lone pair is donated, boys. So here nitrogen bonded with 4 carbons, it is a quaternary amine, which is called as quaternary salt, because it is donated. This one gets positive charge. A negatively charged ion is attached, boys. So quaternary salt, which is also called as quaternary ammonium salt. So quaternary ammonium salt. Now, how many types of amines are there? 4 types of amines. Primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amine, quaternary amine. See here. So totally 4 types of amines. So therefore, types of amines. Nothing but primary amine. Its function group is NaH2 with lone pair. Next, secondary amine. Here, nitrogen, 2 hydrogens are satisfied with, replaced with carbon. Next, tertiary amine. 3 hydrogens are replaced. Next, quaternary amine, which is nothing but, so nitrogen with a coordinated covalent bond, nitrogen gets positive charge. This is quaternary amine. That means these are the 4 types of amines, boys. So amines are indicated with, amines are decided with, divided with 4 categories based on with respect to nitrogen. With respect to nitrogen, it is positive. In all other cases, with respect to carbon, we can decide, boys. But in case of amines, with respect to nitrogen is positive. With respect to nitrogen. So, okay, it is about types of other compounds and types of amines, types of nitrogen compounds. Okay, now let us discuss one more concept, and that is homologous series. Already it is completed in your 10th class, boys. Just I am recollecting the concept, boys. So next subheading, homologous series. It is completed in your 10th class. What is this homologous series? Homologous series means a series of organic compounds represents a general formula. Each member of the series differ by CH2 group with its preceding one and second succeeding one. It is called as homologous series. Note down. See here, a series of organic compounds represents a general formula, and each member of the series differ by CH2 group or molecular weight 14. CH2 group or molecular weight 14 with its preceding and succeeding members is called homologous series. Is called homologous series, boys. Already the point is completed in your 10th class. See here the example. Let us take alkanes. Let us take alkanes, whatever it may be. Okay. See here. So all compounds have same chemical properties but different physical properties. So chemically, that means chemical reactions are all identical reactions, whatever it may be the compound in the series. But physical properties, melting point, boiling point, so there is like that. Those physical properties may be different, but chemically those are identical. See here some of the examples. Example, one, alkanes. Alkanes, general formula CnH2n plus 2. Here n is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. infinity. Write down the sequential compounds. Put n is equal to 1, CH4. Now n is equal to 2, that is C2H6. N is equal to 3, C2H8. C3H8. C4H10, like this. Going on, boys. Okay. So between these two, what is the difference? CH2 is the difference. Between these two, CH2. Between these two, CH2. Like this, difference is going on. So this is the series of compounds, represents a general formula. Each member of the series differ by CH2 group with its preceding one and succeeding one is called as homologous series. So like this, example 2. Second example, alkenes. So alkenes general formula CnH2n. CnH2n. Here n is equal to 2, 3, etc. infinity. So starting from 2 on. Starting from 2. That is, so see here C2H4, C3H6, C4H8. Like this going on. Difference CH2. Difference CH2. Here also it is also homologous series, boys. So all these compounds have similarities in their chemical properties, but differ in their physical properties. Don't compare these compounds with this. This is one series, this is another series. Like this, alkynes. Alkynes, general formula CnH2n minus 2 and CnH2n minus 2. Okay. Here also n is equal to 2, 3, etc. infinity. 2, 3, etc. infinity. So examples C2H2, C3H. So 3 means 6H4. So C4H6, C5H8. Like this going on, boys. Like this going on. So difference in once again, that is the CH2 difference, CH2 difference, CH2 difference. So that is also one of the alkyne series, boys. That is a homologous series. So this is about our homologous series. What is homologous series? A series of organic compounds represented with a single general formula, and each member of the series differ by CH2 group, or 14 is the molecular weight. Carbon atomic weight is 12. 2 hydrogens are differ, that is 14. So 14 molecular weight is different. Okay. So this is about homologous series. It is also important, boys. Now we are entering into the nomenclature. See here. See, boys, nomenclature. What is the meaning of nomenclature? It is naming of organic compounds. Nomenclature is nothing but naming of organic compounds. Boys, here our available organic compounds are named by two methods. One is as per standard rules, and the other one is so just that is coming from our source end, from where the compound is extracted. Related word is used. So that means here naming is two types. One is common name, and the other one is IUPAC name. So naming two types. One is common name, and the other one is IUPAC naming. Common method and IUPAC naming. So this common method is also called as trivial naming engine. Trivial name. It is our standard naming. Common naming or trivial naming. Okay, this is our IUPAC name, that is the standard name. So IUPAC, what is the meaning of IUPAC? All of you know, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. This is called as IUPAC, boys. So here in this, it is union, boys. In this union, all country scientists are members. They give some rules for the naming of organic compounds. So for what purpose? Because so most of the organic compounds in our world, in our nature, are daily extracted, boys. Okay, whatever it may be the compound extracted in any country, having same rules. So that means same name. That means no controversial cases. So to avoid controversial cases, so rules are provided. So those rules are applied for the naming of organic compounds. That is called as our systematic naming. Which is IUPAC system is called as a systematic name. That IUPAC nomenclature is called as systematic naming. Common name is called as a trivial naming. See here, what is the common name? What is the IUPAC name? Let us observe some examples. See, boys, that is CH4. It is generally called as marsh gas. It is marsh gas. Why, sir? It is a common name, boys. It is a common name. That is marsh gas. Why, sir? Because it is from marshy soil. From marshy soil, this gas is released, boys. That's why that gas is called as marsh gas. It is common name. As per IUPAC name, so IUPAC nomenclature, it is called as methane. Methane is the IUPAC name and marsh gas is the common name. So that means so the name is derived from its source, marshy soil. From marshy soil, the gas is available. That is why that is called as marsh gas. See here, one more example. That is acetic acid, CH3COOH. Its common name is acetic acid. Why it is called acetic acid? Because it is obtained from acetum. Acetum, vinegar. Acetum means vinegar. Vinegar. So vinegar, the acid present in vinegar is acetic acid. So acetum. So from acetum, the acid is collected. That is why it is called as acetic acid. So what is the IUPAC name? Its IUPAC name is as per standard rules. That is ethanoic acid. Later I will explain how is this. Ethanoic acid. IUPAC name is ethanoic acid. Common name is acetic acid. Common name. How to name the compound? That is from its source. From acetum, from vinegar, the acid is collected. That is why. So from acetum, acetum means acetic acid. Acid from acetum, that is acetic acid. Next one, formic acid, HCOOH. So its common name is formic acid. Common name is formic acid. Okay. Why, sir? Why it is called as formic acid? Because it is from formica. Formica means red ants. Formica means red ants. So that is errachemal. When they bite on our skin, so some pain is coming out. So why that? Why that burning sensation we feel? Because those red ants injects this acid into our skin. Because of that, so a burning sensation is available. So that means this is the acid present in red ants, that is in formica. So that is why in old days this acid is extracted from the red ants. That is why from formica the acid is coming out, which is called as a formic acid. Which is called as formic acid. Okay. Okay. So in future we will explain about all these. No need here. So but IUPAC name, which is called as methanoic acid. So its IUPAC name is methanoic acid, boys. So that means every compound, most of the compounds having both common names and IUPAC names. So common names derived from their sources. IUPAC names as per our rules. As per our rules. The most important one more, boys, that is urea. NH2CO NH2. It is the first organic compound synthesized in our laboratory, boys. Its common name is urea. Why, sir? Why it is called as urea? Because it is obtained, it is collected from human urine. It is collecting from human urine. Our urine contains urea, boys. So that's why in old days urea is collected from urine. So that's why the related word urea is used. Okay. So it is common name, boys. Urea is the common name of this NH2CO NH2. Okay. So it is one of the forms of amide. So later we will discuss about the IUPAC names of these compounds. So like this, every compound has both common names and IUPAC names. Okay. But here we are discussing about IUPAC names. But both common name and IUPAC name you should know. You should know. That is very, very important. Sometimes a common name is given to you. Write its IUPAC name. So write its IUPAC name. So the structure of this NH2CO NH2 is nitrogen with 2 hydrogens, C double bond O, nitrogen with 2 hydrogens. This is the structure of urea, boys. This is the structure of urea. Okay. So you should know about each and every both common name and IUPAC name of the compound. So I am trying to explain each and everything. So please listen carefully. Please listen carefully. Okay. So before going to enter into the nomenclature, so there are certain words are required, boys. How to name the organic compounds? So what is the rules and regulations for naming of these organic compounds? So see here, what is the way how to write the nomenclature? What is the way to name the nomenclature? Later we will discuss Daksha. See here, boys. That is IUPAC nomenclature. IUPAC nomenclature. How to name the nomenclature, boys? So please keep in mind. So this is the order to write the IUPAC nomenclature. First of all, you should write root word, boys. First of all, you should write root word. Root word. Later I will explain one by one. Please wait. First, it is the first step, boys, while writing the name. First mention root word. To this word, a very near to this, a word is added that is called as suffix, which is called as primary suffix. Which is called as a primary suffix. So after this primary suffix, another word may also be used in some cases, which is called as secondary suffix. Secondary suffix. So it is the first step, it is the second step, it is the third step. Okay. After completing these 3 steps, so fourth step, that is about substituents. So those substituents are mentioned in front of the root word as a prefix. So that means to this root word, prefix is added. Prefix is added. This is our fourth step, boys. So don't start with prefix. First write root word and then primary suffix and then secondary suffix. After that, you should add prefixes. So prefixes. See here. What is what? Sir, what is root word? Root word, it gives the information about the number of carbons, the number of carbon atoms present in the longest chain or parent chain or principal chain. So that gives the information about number of carbons, longest chain. That means a continuous carbon chain. A continuous carbon chain, which is called as longest chain, that contains greatest number of carbons. In which carbon, in which condition, the carbon chain is more. That means more number of carbons are there. That is called as a parent carbon. That is a basic root of that compound. So that is a root chain of that carbon compound. That is which is called as root word. And root word gives the information about the number of carbon atoms present in the longest chain or parent chain or principal chain. For example, how to name the conditions? That is, if carbon contains only one carbon atom is present in the longest chain, the word used is meth. That is, 2 carbons are there, that is eth. 3 carbons are there, that is prop. These are the root words, boys. If chain contains 3 carbons, prop. Chain contains 2 carbons, eth. All those you completed in your first 10th class. And next, 4 carbons, but. Next, 5 carbons, pent. 6 carbons, hex. 6 carbons, hex. Next, 7 carbons, that is a hept. 8 carbons, oct. 9 carbons, non. 9 carbons, non, N-O-N-N. Non. 10 carbons, dec. 10 carbons, dec or deca. Decade, dec. Next, 11 carbons, undec. 12 carbons, dodec. Like this going on, boys. Like this going on. These are the root words. So depending on the number of carbons in the longest chain. If you find out, first of all, you should find out the longest chain in the given compound. Okay. So that longest chain corresponding root word is used. Okay. So this is about root word. Next, primary suffix ending. What this primary suffix explains? This explains, this primary suffix gives about the nature of carbon chain, whether the compound is saturated or unsaturated. Nature of carbon chain means the compound saturated or unsaturated. So either it is a saturated compound or unsaturated compound. That explains about primary suffix, boys. Primary suffix. Okay. So if it is saturated, that is alkane category. That is alkane category. If it is unsaturated, either alkene or alkyne category. Alkene or alkyne category. So if it is alkane category, the primary suffix is ANE is used. ANE is the primary. So that means, so if carbon-carbon single bonds are only exist, carbon-carbon single bonds are only exist, that means the primary suffix is, if carbon-carbon bond only exists, the primary suffix is ANEN. ANEN. If carbon-carbon double bond exists, that is nothing but alkene. So here ENE is the primary suffix. If C triple bond C is exists, that is YNE is the primary suffix. This is primary suffix. ANE, ENE, YNE are the primary suffix. ANE, ENE, YNE are the primary suffix. Okay. So this is about okay. Now primary suffix explains the information about nature of compound. That is, either this compound is a saturated compound or unsaturated compound. If it is saturated, there exists only C single bond C bond. If all bonds in the longest chain are C single bond C, that is alkane category. ANE is the suffix. If C double bond C is there, that is ENE is the primary suffix. If C triple bond C is there, that is YNE is the suffix, primary suffix. Okay. So this is about primary suffix, boys. Now about secondary suffix. What about that secondary suffix? That gives information about functional group. Gives about functional group. Gives about functional group. Sir, what is functional group? That is the group which decides the chemical properties of the component, like alcohols, aldehydes, ketones, acids. So those functional groups are there. The corresponding words are used. If COOH is there, oic acid is there. Where, sir? Where this is we are replaced. So in your primary suffix, everywhere the last letter is E. That E is replaced with. So this oic acid, OL, ON, like this said. So at the time of our explanation, in a particular examples, I will explain, boys. So secondary suffix gives about information about functional group. What is functional group? That decides the chemical properties of the compound. That explains the chemical properties of the compound. The function, the group which gives about the chemical properties of the compound is called as a functional group, like alcohol, OH, aldehyde, CHO, acid, COOH. All these are functional groups. All these are functional groups. Okay. So this is about, so root word, primary suffix, secondary suffix. Next, what about this prefix, sir? This prefix about the substituent side. So this explains about the substituents. So substituents, some groups like halogens are there, chloro, bromo, like substituents are placed. So about substituents, this prefix term is used. Right? So at the time of particular examples, I will explain. First, how to name the compound. See here, this is the order, boys. This is the order end. First root word, you should mention root word. Second primary suffix. Third secondary suffix. Fourth substituted. So you are starting your name with root word, not with substituent. Starting the name with root word. So root word means any one of these, depending on the number of carbons present in the longest chain. That is called as parent chain or principal chain. Okay. So this is nomenclature. So how to name the compounds. Now, what are the rules to write the name of this compound? So rules to write the names. So note down these rules also, boys. Very, very, very important rules, boys. First of all, write down each and every rule. I will explain later with an example. Write down the rules. Rules for IUPAC nomenclature. Because IUPAC gives some rules for writing the name of the compound. I'm trying to give some important rules about the nomenclature. So just some important rules I will explain here, boys. So note down first one. See, boys. So a compound is given to you. How to name the compound? First of all, find out the longest chain present in that component. So longest chain means longest carbon-carbon chain, continuation carbon chain. That chain is called as parent chain, or whatever it may be, that is parent chain, longest chain, or principal chain. So first find out that principal chain and write its root word, corresponding root word. Note on the point, that is first decide the main chain, nothing but our longest chain, the main chain, having maximum number of carbon atoms, having maximum number of carbon atoms. So having maximum number of carbon atoms. So not only carbon atoms wise, if double bond, triple bond are there, those should be included here. So, and also along with carbon atoms, along with multiple bonds, that is C double bond C or C triple bond C, or both, or and both are used. So along with multiple bonds, and principal functional group, along with multiple bonds and principal functional group with the maximum number of substituents. Boys, here number of points are there. First, find out longest chain. That longest chain must include, if the compound contains double bond or triple bond, that should be present in the longest chain. If functional groups are there, those must be in the longest chain. Those. So if more than one functional group is there, so most prior functional group should be in the longest chain. If substituents are there, more number of substituents must be there. So more number of substituents, more carbon chain, double or triple bonds are there, those should be included. So major functional group should be included in the longest chain. So choose that type of longest chain. I will explain with an example later. Please wait. It is the first rule, boys. It is the first rule. Next, second one. That is, if more than one functional group is present, if more than one functional group is present, if more than one functional group is present, that is, so secondary suffix will be principal functional group, secondary suffix will be principal functional group, nothing but more prior functional group. I will give the priority order, boys. Please wait. So that is the secondary suffix will be the most prior functional group, and all other remaining functional groups all other remaining functional groups, all other functional groups as prefixes, all other functional groups as a prefix. So that means, see boys, for example, in our class, only you are there. That means only students without any teacher. Okay. So no one is controlled in that classroom. But if a teacher like me is entered into the class, you will give respect to me. Am I correct or wrong? You will give respect to me. So I am the functional group, boys. So if no one is there, I am the functional group, boys. That means I am the principal functional group. So I am taking class. So meanwhile, our principal sir came into the class. Okay. So now in front of you, me and our principals are there. Which one is more prior? Which one is most important to us? So to you and me, principal is the major. That is why. So me and that is a principal with me, myself. So principal is the major function group. That means more prior function group. So along with me and principal sir, suddenly Dean sir is came. Dean sir is coming into the class. So which one is the most important to us? So to principal, me and you, Dean is our major one. Yes, first. That is why. So depending on the neighboring functional groups, our importance is there. So more prior group, yes, first Dean, second principal, second me, and last you. Like this. Like this, it is very, very So that means the priority is changed with the neighbors. So with the nearby people. So like that, most prior one is as a secondary suffix, and remaining whatever it means the functional group others are there as treated as substituents and placed as prefixes. Placed as prefixes. This is very, very, very important. Most prior functional group as suffix and remaining all functional groups as prefix, like this. Okay. Next point. Next point. I will give the priority order, boys. Which one is first, which one is second in our functional groups? Next one. The locant of the functional group. Sorry, the locant. That means the position. So the locant of the substituent. The locant of the substituent should be indicated. Should be indicated. Okay, in natural numbers. Like 1, 2, 3, first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, like that. So natural numbers and locant and locant and alphabet. Locant and alphabet should be separated. Separated by hyphen. Should be separated with hyphen. Boys, see here. So there is a substituent methyl group at second carbon. So that second location should be with normal numbers, and between number and word, that is alphabet, there should be hyphen. So there should be hyphen. Like this should be, we should mention it. Between number and word, there should be hyphen. If more than one numbers are there, number and number is separated with a comma. So this is the punctuation in the naming end. This is the punctuation in the naming words. Okay. So this is like this. So location, position is mentioned with the simple numbers, and between alphabet of the word and number, there should be hyphen. There should be hyphen. Okay. Next point. Next, if substituent repeats, 2 times repeated, died, 3 times repeated, tried, like this prefixes are used for simple substituents. If complex substituents are there, bis, tris, tetra case like words are used. Note down the points. So that is the fourth point. If substituent repeats, if substituent repeats more than one time, if substituent repeats more than one time, we can write, we can use di, tri, tetra like words for simple substituents like simple substituents and bis, tris, tetra case, penta case, for etc. for complex substituents. For complex substituents, boys. For example, For example, 2 methyl groups are there, dimethyl. 3 methyl groups are there, trimethyl. 5 methyl groups are there, pentamethyl. Like these words. For example, ethylene diamine. Ethylene diamine. Already the word di is inside the naming voice. So already, so the word inside the di voice, di, the ethylene di, already di is there. If it is repeated 2 times, so diethylene diamine, it is not correct voice. So that is why bis means 2 times. Bis ethylene diamine. Bis ethylene diamine. Okay. So 2 double bonds, diene. 3 double bonds, triene. No problem. There is a di, tri. So see boys. So when di is used, right? When di is used. If the compound, if the formula, that is, if the name of the substituent already has di or tri words, use bis and tris words. If the complex, if the compound or substituent having already di or tri words, so use bis or tris. If no di, tri are there, just di, tri are the common conditions. Okay. So I will explain with an examples at the time of example. Please wait. Okay. Next point. That is, while writing prefixes, we should follow alphabet order. We should follow alphabet order, boys. See, boys, for example, if chloro, bromo both are there. Chloro starts with C. Bromo starts with B. First you should write bromo and then chloride, because in alphabets B start first one and C next one. And that is why we must follow alphabet rule while naming the prefixes. So in this case, di, tri, tetra, these words are not used, boys. So don't use dibromo. We are considering only B and not D. That is a di, not a D. Trichloro, not a T. Only we consider C and like that. See here. In alphabetic, we should not consider. Boys, it is important. Should not consider di, tri, like this. Di, tri of words of simple substituents base, trace of complex substituents. Don't consider di, tri words. Don't consider bis, tris words. So while considering alphabet rule, boys, only chloro, bromo, C, B are used, not dichloro, not dibromide. So DD not considered, boys. Okay. Next, and very important, sixth point. That is, we should not consider. It is very important. We should not consider secondary, tertiary words. And we should not consider secondary, tertiary words, but we consider iso, neo words. And we should not consider secondary, tertiary. What is this secondary, tertiary? So see, boys, I will explain with the examples. See here, for example, so this is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So this contains 4 carbons. 4 carbons, longest chain, bute. All are single bonds in. It is a butane, boys. Butane. All carbons in the longest chain. All carbons in the longest chain. That's why it is called as normal butane. Normal means single chain, no branching is there. So, or N-butane. N-butane. Okay. For example, if this hydrogen is removed from this alkane, so alkane, that is alkane minus hydrogen, the groups are called as alkyl groups. Those alkyl groups are called as substituents. Okay. So now I am removing this hydrogen, boys. That is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2. One of the hydrogen is replaced. This is a substituent, boys. It is nothing but alkyl group. How to find out this alkyl group? Alkane minus hydrogen. Alkane minus hydrogen gives alkyl end. Alkane minus hydrogen gives alkyl group, boys. Alkane, what is its general formula? CN H2N plus 2 minus hydrogen gives CN H2N plus 1 with 1 free valency. This group is called as alkyl group. It acts as a substituent. It acts as substituent. So alkyl groups are substituents. Their general formula are CN H2N plus 1, not plus 2. One of the hydrogens is removed, boys, from this alkane. See here, this is butane. It is butyl. Alkane, alkyl. ANE is replaced with YL. Alkane, alkyl. It is butane. It is butyl. All carbons in the longest chain. Therefore, it is N-butyl. It is called as N-butyl, boys. Okay. For example, if this hydrogen is removed, so it seems to be like this: CH3, CH2, CH. That hydrogen is removed, and CH3. Here, 1 free valency is there, boys. So this is secondary carbon, boys. It is secondary carbon. This is the carbon connected with 2 others. This is attached to the longest chain. This is attached to the longest chain. That is why it is called as this group is considered as a secondary butyl group. It is considered as secondary butyl. This secondary word in our IUPAC nomenclature we don't consider. Please be conscious. Secondary, tertiary words are not considered. So let us explain with one more example. See here. It is first example. Second example. For example, I am taking propane. CH3, CH2, CH3. It is propane. Propane. If this hydrogen is removed, CH3, CH2, CH2 with free valence, it is called as propyl. Propyl. Okay. For example, if this hydrogen is removed, CH3, CH, CH3. Actually, it is a secondary, boys. But here, 2 methyl groups are attached to this carbon. Only 2 methyl groups. But here, it is a methyl group. It is ethyl group only. 2 groups are not same, not methyl groups. But here, 2 are methyl groups. This is called as isopropyl group. This iso word is accepted. Not secondary word is. Secondary word is not accepted, but iso word is used in our IUPAC system. Iso means there is a carbon with 2 methyl groups and hydrogen with free valency. This is our iso group, boys. See here, this is CH, 2 methyl groups are attached. That is called as iso. So that iso group is accepted. The word iso is accepted in our IUPAC system. in our IUPAC system. Use that. Okay. Next, one more example. One more example, that is third one. 2-methyl propane I am taking, boys. CH3, CH, CH3, CH3. It is a 3 carbon chain. Second carbon contains methyl group. So IUPAC name is 2-methyl propane. Boys, I will explain how to name. Please wait. 2-methyl propane. 2-methyl propane. See here, boys. See here. So please consider this group. This is CH. 2 methyl groups are attached. That is why it is isopropyl group. Iso group. So this entire compound contains how many carbons? 4 carbons. Iso group with 4 carbons. That is why it is called as isobutane. It is common name. It is IUPAC name. IUPAC name. Okay. Isobutane. IUPAC name is 2-methyl propane. 2-methyl propane. So iso group is there. Now see, boys, if this hydrogen is removed, that gives CH3, CH, CH3, CH2. It is now substituted. This contains iso group. Total carbons are 4. That is what it is called as isobutyl. It is called as isobutyl. While giving the naming in our IUPAC system for substitutes, isobutyl word is accepted. Isobutyl word is accepted, but not a tertiary secondary cases. Next, for example, if this hydrogen is removed, the group is like this: CH3, C, CH3, CH3. This one, boys. Okay, so this carbon is 3 other carbons, boys. 3 other carbons. It is called as a tertiary carbon. Total 4 carbons. This is called as tertiary butyl group. It is not iso because H is not there. Here H is not there. It is not iso. It is a tertiary butyl, or sometimes T butyl. T stands for tertiary. T stands for tertiary. S stands for secondary. S stands for secondary. T stands for tertiary. Please wait. That is Q stands for quaternary. These are the words used in our organic chemistry. So this letters, this terminology is not accepted in IUPAC nomenclature. So tertiary butyl, the word is not accepted. But isobutyl, the word is accepted. Please take a difference between these two. Please consider these differences. Iso, neo, the words are accepted, but secondary, tertiary words are not accepted, guys. Okay. Next, what about that neo? See here. Next, fourth example, that is, I am taking this one. This is 3 longest chain. 2 methyl groups are attached at second carbon. IUPAC name is 2, 2. If numbers are repeated, comma is there. Number and word: dimethyl propane. So common name. It is total 5 carbons. This carbon connected with all our methyl groups. It is called as neopentane. Total 5 carbons, neo group, neopentane. Yes. Now, if this hydrogen is removed among all these, anyone, this hydrogen is removed. That is CH3, C, CH3, CH2, CH3. So this group is called as neopentyl. This neo word is accepted in IUPAC nomenclature wise as a substituent. As a substituent accepted, but not as a name. As a name not accepted, but as a substituent accepted. Okay, that is the neopentyl. See boys, what is the name of this compound? What is the name of this compound? CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2. What is the name of this group? One hydrogen is removed, it is alkyl group. So see boys, CH, methyl group. Overall, how many carbons? It is iso group boys. It is iso. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pentyl. It is called as isopentyl group. Isopentyl. Okay. So please keep in mind where where we are using iso, where we are using neo. So like this, it is very, very, very important. So this is about iso neo words as substituents are accepted, but secondary tertiary words are not accepted. This is our 6th point. Next, 7th point. 7th point. Seventh point. If substituent repeats, if substituent repeats, we should also repeat the locants. We should also repeat the locants. Why? See here. For example, there is a methyl group at the second carbon end. That means 2-methyl is the condition wise. But methyl 2 times. That's why I'm taking dimethyl. So 2 and 2. Don't use 2 dimethyl. It is 2, 2 dimethyl. So this is accepted. That means locants also repeated. So dimethyl. So whenever the word di is there, so 2 numbers must be there. Those may be same numbers or different numbers. But so 2 numbers must be there. 2 locations must be there. Okay. Next, 8th pointer. We have to follow, very, very, very important. We have to follow least locant rule. Least locant rule, but not least sum rule. At the time of particular examples, I will explain this point wise. So least locant rule, that means if a substituent is available at first carbon, second carbon and third carbon, total summation is 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is equal to 6. In the same situation, the substituent present at 1, 1 and 5, total summation 1 plus 5, which is 7. So as per sum, this is less. It is least sum condition. Here locants, it is first locant, it is second locant, but here first locant and first locant. This is least locant. That means, so we are not going towards least sum rule, and we are going towards least locant rule. That's why it is wrong. It is correct. Only we should consider locants. Least locants are considered, not least sum. Least sum. So this is, I will explain at the time of particular examples. Please wait. So this is about some rules which must be followed in our IUPAC nomenclature. Okay. So let us observe some functional groups. So what are the words which are used as prefix and suffix? If that is the only substituent, that is as a secondary suffix. If someone is there, so those that may be a substituent. As a prefix we should use voice. So now, which one, what is that function group? What is that word as a prefix? What is that word as suffix? So write down the tabular form. Write down the tabular form. Subheading. This is the total information towards our nomenclature boys. We should know all this information. Otherwise, no doubt our name will be, maybe wrong. May be wrong. Otherwise, the name may be wrong. And please try to mind. Please try to by heart all these points. Okay. So now, priority of the functional groups. Priority order of the functional groups. That means which one is more prior, which one is less prior. Priority order of the functional groups. Priority order of the functional groups. See here, the highest priority is for COOH. COOH, which is greater than SO3H. I will give the names for this. Greater than. That means if COOH and SO3H is there, so this one is more priority, this one less priority. It is going to be substituent. It is going to be a secondary suffix. Next, it is COOR, Ester. It is COCL. Next, greater than. Continuation, greater than. COCL, CONH2, amide, which is greater than. CN, cyanide, which is greater than. Cyanide, greater than. That is aldehyde, greater than. Ketone, greater than. Ketone, greater than. Alcohol, greater than. Alcohol, greater than. Amine, greater than. C double bond C, greater than. C triple bond C. C double bond C, greater than. C triple bond C. So this is about the priority order of the functional groups, boys. Priority order of the functional groups. Okay. Next, tabular form, boys. That is the last for today's class. So that is, note down the tabular form. Functional groups as a prefix and suffix side. That is, some functional groups as prefix and as suffix. Some functional groups as prefix as well as suffix side. So see here. So tabular formula. Functional group. What is the word as a prefix and as a suffix? As a prefix, as a suffix. First one, carboxylic acid. Formula COOH. Its structure is C double bond O OOH. C double bond O OOH. If it is as a prefix, that is a carboxy, what is used? Carboxy. Carboxy, what is used? If it is a functional group, secondary suffix, that is oic acid, what is used? Oic acid. Next, second one, that is SO3H. SO3H. Its name is, its structure is like this, boys. That is S double bond O, OH. It is SO3H, which is called as sulfonic acid. Which is called as sulfonic acid. So if it is as a prefix, which is called as a sulfone, sulfo. That is, if it is as a suffix, that is sulfonic acid. The word sulfonic acid is used. Sulfonic acid. Okay. Next, third one. COOR. COOR. Its structure is C double bond OR. It is a structure and it is nothing but ester and it is nothing but ester. Ester. Okay, boys, this is OR, alkoxy group. Generally, I am calling as alkoxy. Alkoxy. Because R is nothing but alkyl group. Alkyl group attached to oxygen. That is why it is alkoxy group. So now, as a prefix, alkoxy carbonyl. Alkoxy carbonyl. If it is as a suffix, OH is used. OH. OH, the word OH is used. Next. Next, COCl. COCl. So its structure is C double bond OCl. C double bond OCl, which is called as acid chloride. The name of this functional group is acid chloride. So it is called as chlorocarbonyl as a prefix. Chlorocarbonyl as a prefix. And OL chloride as a suffix. OL chloride as a suffix. OL chloride as a suffix. Next. CONH2. So its structure is C double bond ONH2. It is amide functional group and it is amide functional group. So it is called as a carbomyl. Carbomyl functional group. Carbomyl or aminocarbonyl or aminocarbonyl also used. Carbomyl or aminocarbonyl. So if it is as suffix, amide word is used. Amide word is used as a suffix. Next, after that, CN. Its structure is C triple bond N. It is a cyanide. So it is a cyanide. So that is commonly it is cyano as a prefix. Cyano as a prefix. So as a suffix, nitrile word is used. Nitrile, L-E. Nitrile is used. Nitrile. Next, CH4. Its structure is C double bond OH. CH4. It is aldehyde functional group. Aldehyde. Okay. So commonly it is as a prefix, formyl word is used. Formyl or oxo also used. Oxo. Okay. So as a secondary suffix, Al, aldehyde, Al is used. Al is used. Next, OH. Its structure is OH. OH. That is, it is alcohol group wise. Alcohol. That is hydroxy as a prefix and OL as a suffix. OL as a suffix. Next, NH2. Its structure is N2 hydrogens. NH2. It is amine. Amine. So as a prefix, amino only. As a prefix, amino. As a suffix, amine. As a suffix, amine is used. Okay. So boys, sometimes these groups acts as a prefix, that is as substituents. If this one acts as a major function group, as a suffix is used. As a suffix is used. Okay. So, but some groups always acts as substituents, boys. So what are some groups? 5 groups are there. So see here. Next point, the following groups only acts as substituents. The following groups only acts as substituents, and their names are given below. The following groups only acts as substituents. The following groups only acts as substituents, that is as a prefix and as prefix. So, and their names are, their words are given below. See here, boys, what are those? First one, halogen. Whenever halogen is there, that is chloro. If Cl is there, either chloro, bromo, or iodine. So that means generally halo word is used in it. Halo means either chloro or bromo or iodine. So that means halo word is used. Always chlorine is a substituent. Next, NO2 group. So here it is always nitro and nitro and NO group is there. NO group is there, which is nitroso and nitroso and. Next, OR, which is called as ether and ether always taken as substituent and that is alkoxy and alkoxy word is used, guys. So please keep in mind all these words. So by using all these, we will write IUPAC nomenclature, guys. We will write IUPAC nomenclature. So in our next class, I will write IUPAC nomenclature.